Hi guys, welcome back to the Butterfly Effect podcast. We have just finished the final episode of TellTale's The Expanse. And I don't know about you, Jack, but I blinked while I played it, so unfortunately I missed the game. But how did you enjoy it?
Yeah, well, pretty much same. I think it clocked in at was that 45 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually looking at my stream, mate. It's a 57-minute stream. I didn't start playing it till 10 minutes in, and then it finishes around the 43-minute mark. So it took me 33 minutes to play the game, and that is me stopping talking to people on the stream. So yeah, literally half an hour, mate.
Christ. I mean, yeah. The weird thing, though, I mean, comparing, say, to the last episode, which we absolutely slated, I do think with this one, though, that actually there was actually, some merit to it, weirdly. I did enjoy this one more than, say, episode 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Maybe not, I haven't made my mind up yet in comparison to the first two because it was so short. But, at least we're finishing on a somewhat high. I don't know if you can call it that, but
Honestly, it's one of those ones, mate, where, I was like, oh, this is cool. Because, you get a major choice, less than 5 minutes in. I'm like, oh, wow. But then, it's like, oh, this character can die. And then we're going to go to this room where this character can die. And then we're going to go to another room where that character can die. Then it's the big boss battle. And then it's some, post credits, this is what happens in 3 weeks or 3 months, and it's something that's clearly to do with big Expanse fans, but I didn't have a clue of what was happening, that probably teased drama into her big story. So when I kind of break it down, I'm thinking if I compare it to say The Walking Dead season 1, the really beloved TellTale series, right? Their episode 5, we started in a hospital where there was the amputation, we go up to the roof, then the bell tower, then we're down on the ground, and then we go back into the mansion, then we break across the neighbours, then we go across the roofs, then we go through a zombie horde into a hotel room, and then the jewellery store. I'm there was so much to that. And I look at this, and it's basically going from head to toe in the spaceship in a matter of half an hour. And I don't know about you, lad, but to me, that screams Paul.
Oh yeah, definitely. The length, which is a shame, because there were ingredients this episode that I think were, they did sort of stand up to some extent. Yeah, I mean, it's literally, it's got to be the shortest episode of the entire thing. There was not really much exploration, was there? It was just sort of the walking down the corridors of the Artemis, from what I can remember. And yeah, I think overall this game, it needed to be longer. And I mean, I feel like it's one of them ones where, the exploration, I keep coming back to it, but the exploration ate so much of the gameplay time up. You don't necessarily get much out of that. And of course, Drummer's on her own for a good chunk of that. But naturally, other areas of the game start to suffer. So hopefully, as a bit of feedback, they would take that moving forward. I mean, I don't know what they would apply it to, because who knows, there might not be an Expanse 2. But yeah, certainly that the episodes needed to be longer.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously quite disappointing. I almost feel like you say, there are obviously choices this episode that had to be being in episode 5, but I feel like maybe episodes 3 and 4 damaged it quite a bit, to the point it was always going to be tough to redeem itself, and I certainly feel like it felt that consequence. Should we just get stuck in with the choices we did, lad, and then we'll naturally progress throughout the episode?
Let's go for it.
So, obviously, we board the ship. The first thing we have is, you're on there with Tor, and then Rayan comes up to you, and, you're basically told by Tor to kill him. What did you do, lad? Did you fight against Tor, or did you kill Rayan?
Yeah, I fought against Tor. I just thought at this point I've been consistent with trying to. I know I've obviously got Maya killed, but I've been consistent up to this point, and I was like, you know what, I might just try and save everybody else as well. So yeah, I just fought off the Tor guy. What about you?
Did the opposite. Basically, obviously, you know me, my stream, the consensus and the concept is that the fans vote. And we had 2 bloodthirsty people who wanted revenge for Maya. And you know what? I kind of backed it. I was like, as much as I think Ryan's the good brother, and I actually quite like Ryan, I don't think, he is a bad person. I was a bit there, you know what? I don't have too much attachment to this series, that I'm A, tempted to do the opposite of what I thought you were going to do, which I was right, but also B, I feel like maybe that would kind of like make a cool drummer story, someone who's just like absolutely like doesn't care, wants to just kill everything in sight to become this solo person to tear off into the series. So yeah, it's that's what I did. It was a pretty brutal death, you know. You stomp his like face in with the mag boots, and yeah, it's cool because his corpse is lying there, and then you can kind of like just see him throughout the ship when you go back and stuff. So yeah, like already off the bat, 5 minutes in, mate, I had Cox dead, Maya dead, and now Rayan.
Blimey, 3 out of 3. I mean, the thing is that I can't remember. I swear someone mentioned this in the comments, but like, if I was playing this blind and I didn't know about the whole concept of saving everyone, I'd have probably done the same thing. But I've got that like achievement mindset head on, and I wonder if that's sort of a bad thing, because I feel like my impulse would probably to almost like do the same thing, you know. But in your case, you've already taken the guy's leg, right? So you might.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, afterwards, it says the next choice is helping or leaving Virgil, and then there's a few things like calming and forgiving. I mean, the thing that came up for me is it said Virgil was too afraid of Drummer to seek her help. Now, I feel like because I killed Ray and I missed out on a bunch of stuff here, apparently he has some form of panic attack, and you can help him out, but because apparently, I think because I killed Ray and he was afraid of me, so I never got a lot of those options. So he just stayed in the room, and although he didn't hate me, we didn't fall out, he just kind of was like, oh, please don't hurt me. And he just sort of cowered in his room. So my first choice blocked me off massively from getting kind of any fruit and benefit from the second choice. So question to you is, like, how did everything go with Virgil for yourself, lad?
Oh, interesting. So wait, so he didn't tell you any more about his backstory then?
Nah, I don't think he did, no.
Oh, right, okay. So, I mean, I did stay with him. He did start to have a panic attack. But I think basically his backstory was that he was wanted by the OPA. He was like a soldier at the Anderson station. And that really triggers Drummer. And, you know, basically you then get choices. You can tell him, you know, you can ultimately leave him or stay with him. You can tell him that, you know, everything's going to be okay, that he's going to be a medic, you know, if you want to stick around after all this. Also, as well with this, like, apparently you can get an achievement for trying to keep him calm. I don't know what it was to try and keep him calm. I felt like I picked the right things, but the achievement didn't pop. I was in the majority with staying with Virgil, but I think I was definitely in the minority for trying to keep him calm, because I've got 27% written down here. So
yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, with me as well, it says like he never asked me for forgiveness, so like I never got any backstory thing. I think if you kill Ryan, Virgil just kind of like is scared of you and he doesn't want anything to do with you, so like it kind of moved on from that, really. So
yeah, I got 40. That's 44%. I got that. Virgil never asked Drummer for forgiveness, so that happened to me as well.
oh, okay. Well, maybe it's one of those things where we have to do a bit of further research after this to realise like the choices with Virgil. But I guess that's one cool thing, you know. Like I got him his mushrooms, but like I killed Rayan, so like I don't quite know what like determines that choice, but it does show that there is some form of branching, at least already. Something that we haven't really seen in the last 2 episodes, to be honest. I mean, that's a bit harsh. Episode 3 had something at the end, but episode 4 for sure, right? Which was just the most linear shit chapter I've ever seen in my life. We'll move on to Tor and Khan, lad. So this is going to be very different for you and me, because we, you know, like I let him go and, you know, I killed Rayan. So basically, when I went to see Khan, I got there first, but I'm assuming for you, am I right in thinking that Khan would have killed Tor before you got there?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. 79% arrived after Khan killed Tor. So yeah, something obviously went down. So is there something you want to tell me, mate, about what happened?
Yeah, it's very different. If you kill Ryan, basically Tor goes a different direction and you go to Khan first, and it instantly goes out into a gunfight, and like quick time events pop up, and you have a little bit of a shootout with Khan. And yeah, it's interesting because I was like, oh, I thought Khan and I were cool. So I just was a bit confused while I'm having this gunfight with her, to be honest, lad. Obviously, QTEs come up. I don't want to die. I win. I beat her. And yeah, I shoot Khan. What's interesting as well is I had a call with my brother yesterday, and he mentioned that she dies the same way her husband died, which, in that backstory thing she dropped in episode 2. So that was a nice little bit of, character arc right there, which I thought was interesting. But there, yeah, so her death is probably one of the coolest things of the episode for me, because she's there with a gunshot, knowing she's about to bleed out and die, and then she just pops a cigar in her mouth, puts her middle finger up at you with the lighter finger, and then dies, and that's how she dies. So yeah, that was funny. And then afterwards, Tor comes in and says oh, you're as badass as they say. Nicely done. And then you blow up in a bit of rage because obviously you hate the fact that you've just killed a friend. And then you have a gunfight with Tor.
Right.
And yeah, I went and won that, shot him dead in the face, and then I left to the next room. So I basically killed both people. Well, for you, I guess, you probably just killed Tor, I'm guessing. How did it go down for you, lad?
Oh, so I arrived and Khan had obviously already killed Tor. At least that's what my choice says here. You go in, she's already got a gunshot, and I'm guessing because of I was nice to her previous episode and stuff, it was all very pally. And then a boarding party come in, and you know what you said about when you was talking to your brother about the similarity. Well, the funny thing is that you then have this scene where Drummer goes up to the boarding party and surrenders. And then she then ducks, and then that's when Khan then takes out the gun and starts shooting at the boarding party. Now, what I do find strange is I've then got a choice here. It says Khan was killed in the gunfight. I was in the 46%. The weird thing was that I got all the QTEs right. And I was thinking, well, how the hell did I get Khan killed then? Because what happens is you kill the boarding party, then go back up to her. She's obviously bleeding out from the gunshot wound from earlier. And she's then, she just sort of holds your hands and then just slowly drifts away from you. And I was thinking, damn, how the hell did I get Khan killed then? So another one where I'm going to have to go and do a little bit of research on it, lad.
Yeah, I have seen a specific comment actually say that they do lie in saying that all of the characters bar one can survive, because, I'm assuming Arlen has to die later on, and I'm assuming based off of everything we've done that Khan has to die as well. So I am just sat there a little bit is it more than one? So yeah, that is another thing we will research into. But yeah, as he's mentioned, and as you can imagine, lad, I never got a boarding party because we had sort of two different strands there. Really interesting that we've picked different things again, lad. We're really testing the waters of how branching this game is by the fact that we've had a very polar opposite different choice kind of throughout our gameplay.
The one thing I would say though is I swear that I've seen achievement that says keep Khan alive.
Oh really? Okay, so
that's why I'm so interested. I'm like, oh, well, I wonder how you do it then, because I got through the gunfight and still died, so
must be, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's another thing. We have to see how we can calm Virgil and how we can save Khan. We later on go down to Arlen, and before we get to the big choice, I just want to say how stupid I thought the whole thing from often when I look at these games and it's there's jeopardy and there's guns involved, I kind of look at it a bit from an army tactical perspective, and there's all these things about how she's not even holding her gun ready for open doors, she's just climbing down ladders really calmly, and I'm Arlen could be around the corner, you fucking donut, And then you go down and you see Arlen, and he knows you're on the ship, he knows that you've attacked them. And instead he's just fanning about with this MK core, looking at helmets, just looking around the room, and I'm you fucking idiot, mate, what are you doing? So I just thought that was a little funny. But yeah, obviously the next choice, mate, Arlen's death, it says Tucson can kill Arlen, or Rayan can kill Arlen. Now I'm assuming for you, because you spared Rayan, did you get Rayan killed Arlen?
No.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I really don't know. I'm guessing this might have to maybe go all the way back to episode 1. I'm guessing with fight, which I'm not too sure about as like a reason to, for these serious situations. But anyway, we've already covered that. But no, yeah, it wasn't even there.
Yeah, someone did tell me that you have to really be in Ryan's good books. So you have to not cut the leg off, you've got to get Arlen the meds, and you have to break up the play fight. If you do those 3 things, he will step in and kill his own brother. I really want to see that, by the way. That seems like a really cool redemption way, a really cool way to write Ryan in the good books, So yeah, like I'll have to see that. But yeah, I'm guessing you have the same for me then. You have like a fist fight with Arlen, and then like you basically win, but it's not until Tucson comes on board that he tries to cut a deal with Tucson, and then Tucson just shoots him straight in the face and takes the MK core. Is that how you had it?
With a slight difference.
Okay.
Slight difference. So obviously Cox is alive in my gameplay, isn't he? And
Oh, I have heard about this actually. Yeah.
So he was in the brig. You start having a fight with him, and then you get pushed up against the brig door, and then you reach your hand out and you open it. And then the fight continues in the brig. I don't know, this would be a pretty cool, neat branching thing if this was the case. You're there fighting with Arlen, and then Cox grabs the bottle, like the bottle of whiskey that you can get from earlier on.
Yeah.
He then grabs the bottle and whacks it over Arlen's head and then says, "Right, Captain, now we're even." And then he just buggers off. He actually like knocks Arlen out a bit, so then you can just absolutely pummel his face like Lee did with Andy St. John in the Walking Dead season.
Yeah.
Very similar sort of thing. But yeah, like I'm guessing everything else pretty much played out the same.
Yeah, no, I guess so then. Yeah, that is really interesting, and it is quite cool that you get a little reward for keeping Cox alive. While I didn't get that, but it made Arlen seem really weak. I just beat him hands down in a fight with no help, so it just kind of like I just had this like really easy battle, and it didn't really feel worthy of like a big boss battle, because it was just so fucking easy. And I feel like the QTEs in this game are really simple. Bar one, which I will get to in a minute, involving Tucson. One of the next choices it says, mate, is why Drummer matters. So for me, I had Drummer found a shotgun for her final fight, and then 78% of people had to face them unarmed. Now I don't get how that choice happened. I just naturally walk up to a shotgun. I don't think I could have done it any other way. How about you?
No, I was unarmed. Yeah, I was unarmed for it. But yeah, I just didn't have a gun. I certainly didn't have a moment where she looks to her left and she sees a shotgun. What happens is that she then just makes a runner for it, and then sort of uses her, what do you call it, her little jetpack thing just to hover away and get upstairs. So there's no
okay. Oh, fair, man. Okay, I mean, I think one of the choices as well is like you kind of have a breakdown in your relationship with Tucson, right? There's that thing like, oh, why should I not kill you? I think I used Maya as a reason. It just seemed like the most legit thing because of like the speech they had on how pirates are like, they're like family and they value people.
Yeah.
So I thought Maya was the sensible choice. I think I was in the majority of that one. Did you do the same?
No, I chose Justice. I think I was in the minority because I saw the Maya one, and I remember literally in the last episode that I told Tucson that I didn't mention the fact that Drummer loved Maya. So I was like, to suddenly bring it up now would be like she'd just call me out for bullshit. So I just chose the other one. I just chose Justice.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, like, obviously, it breaks down anyway because you refused to join. I don't really think you had a choice in that. So, like, it was pretty linear. Then you had Tucson who, I don't know, did some really weird flirtatious thing where they tried to stroke your arm. Didn't know what that was about. And then, obviously, you have a big fight with Tucson, and then Julia from the last episode has that message where they're like, oh, I have someone on board the ship. I'm gonna blow the ship up if I don't hear from you in a bit. And you have this big fight with Tucson at the end. And it was quite interesting. I was a little aggrieved though. I didn't fail it, but one of the QuickTime events proper throws a spanner in the works because it comes up with something that either we haven't seen, or we haven't seen it since like episode 1 where you have to like tap the buttons. I nearly failed it. I was like, that was a bit harsh. I don't know if you had the same.
Yeah, at least going off memory, I don't think we did see that mashing button one. Because, yeah, I remember when it first popped up on screen, I was like, like, this is a bit different. So I just, randomly tapped the button and it seemed to start working. So got a bit.
Yeah.
Again, though, even if you fail it, I wonder what would have happened, because if
Game over, start again.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, and obviously, yeah, like it's cool. They come in, you know, and then like, you know, they don't have a helmet, so they die that way. And then I end up on the spaceship. And then, yeah, because obviously I left a massive wake of destruction in my path. The only character I had alive was obviously, well, yourself, Julia, and I had Virgil, so I spared Virgil. It's obviously quite a skinny crew, but in a weird way, I haven't really approached this series with like a whole, I want as many people alive. I just kind of went with this interesting story. And obviously the fans voted as well, but I quite like the fact that we had this badass drummer who just was super destructive and just killed everything in sight. Just came on the ship, got like Rayan, killed Khan, and then Arlen died. So yeah, it was very destructive. But yeah, I just had Virgil as my solo survivor and the crewmate. How about yourself?
So yeah, Virgil was alive, Cox was alive, Ryan was alive, and then obviously, yeah, there was Julie. That was it. So I basically got the girls killed in this game, Khan and Maya. But yeah, it's
with Arlen as well, obviously. Yeah.
Aware of Arlen, obviously, yeah. The thing is, I mean, looking at the achievements for this game, because obviously I'm going to go back through it and play some more. Yeah, like it's a shame that there isn't necessarily an achievement for killing all the crewmates. From what I can remember, there's one for keeping them all alive. My enthusiasm, always like for DPA games, my enthusiasm is high. I'll go back, I'll get them all killed, I'll get them all alive, yada yada. This one, I'm just not seeing the incentive. If like the achievement's not there, I'm just gonna be like, "Ow, YouTube it," I mean, a couple of the deaths you've told me already. Like I know about the Cox one, the Ryan one, obviously. We both had the Khan one, so yeah, I'll go and keep them all alive, find all the bits of salvage and stuff, and then leave it at that.
For sure. So that's the thing as well, like, because of the dynamic of episode 3 and 4, we get into this episode 5 thing, and there's a bit of are you with the pirates, are you with your crew? I think there's that dynamic going on. I feel it was kind of poorly executed because you don't really totally get a choice. Like, if you wanted to be with the pirates, you have to turn on Tor and then Tucson anyway. And then for, like, our own crew, I had to basically kill Khan with no choice. So, like, it just felt a little weird. But also, like, when Khan died, I felt like it was supposed to be this emotional moment where I'm supposed to feel really aggrieved that I've killed Khan.
Yeah.
But because I hadn't seen her in 2 episodes, I felt very little emotional attachment, especially considering you whiz through the episodes in, like, less than an hour anyway. That, like, I don't know, I just feel like it wanted to draw out this emotional arc that I just didn't have. I don't know if you felt the same.
Yeah, 100% agreed. I think they did a little bit better with Virgil in this one. Obviously, my gameplay, because I had the conversation with him, the panic attack, he disclosed more about his past and stuff. Yeah, I did have that sort of feeling like this is what episode 3 should have been. This is what all this sort of action, the people coming on board, and you've got all these different characters and things going on. There should have been more of this in episode 3, because it does feel like that it's like so abrupt, like all this has suddenly happened within an hour. And there was lots of points in the previous episodes where it just moved so slow. So yeah, like, shame really. They couldn't have maybe brought that forward and done something else in the middle. I don't know.
I think as well, I guess I had this big expectation that the end of the game was going to boil down to Tucson turning on you, and then depending on how much salvage you collected, and maybe it would have benefited me that I cut Ryan's leg off and had this treasure that I could have used that as a bargaining chip. But that didn't have any relevance. It almost just seems like the correct choice is to be nice and not cut the guy's leg off,
Yeah.
So, like, I felt a little frustrated that a lot of the choices I did had no kind of benefit to them. And yeah, I'm guessing collecting salvage is purely an achievement-based thing, and it has nothing to do with the story. I don't know if I'm wrong in thinking that, lad.
I guess so. guess so. I mean, I've not collected all of it or the data logs either. I mean, that's the thing. All you can do is like hit pause and read what's on there, can't you?
For sure.
Yeah, I think it is just that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those ones where, like we say, you complete the level in 33 minutes, and then it ends with just this outro, which I don't know about you, lad, but not being Expanse fans, I felt a little like my hand wasn't held, and I felt a little lost. Like some character comes up at the end who I'm guessing is from the show, and then it teased like Drummer into the series, but I don't know. From a person who's not an Expanse fan, I felt a little lost, and I felt like the writing was a little poor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I probably won't come that hard on it because, like I say, it probably is just a bit of fan service. I guess that what they're doing, and I might be wrong, if you're an Expanse fan, let me know in the comments, is that they're basically teeing up the start of like the series, the TV series, or at least Drummer's involvement. So obviously it's nice for the fans, and it would be a bit of an abrupt ending if it just, after the ship exploded, it just sort of cut to black, and they probably felt, oh, we'll do like this little bonus scene to show which crew members are there still, and the sense that there's going to be a bit of continuity. But yeah, I mean, we're not Expanse fans, so we're not exactly going to be bigging up this whole thing.
Nah, for sure, lad. But I mean, obviously that is it in a nutshell. Those are our choices. That is our sentiment for the thing. I guess one thing to summarize everything, is that we're obviously big TellTale fans, and it's just so amazing for us that the series is back. But I feel like there's that sentiment that, like the way Supermassive Games, and I know like it's harsh to compare them. They're different companies. They have different resources. They're two completely different games with different structures. However, when Until Dawn finished, like they had games like The Impatient and whatever, in Rush of Blood, but they really took their time before Man of Medan. TellTale, and I know that Deck 9's mainly involved as well, so I'm not fully pointing fingers. I am aware that it might be one, it might be the other, it might be a bit of both. But I don't know, coming back after 5 years, you'd think you'd want the game to be a lot more intricate, a lot more detailed than it was. And this is the return we've been waiting for quite a while, and it would have been cool if they came back with a bang. But I don't know, would you agree, or maybe I'm being too harsh here, that they've come back with a little bit of a dead note?
Yeah, no, I do, yeah. The only positive way that I could spin this is that, if they do hear this criticism, they then know, like, putting it into future games, like, in terms of episode length, for example, getting the balance between exploration, episode distribution, all those sorts of things that come up, they can iron it out for the next game. But yeah, like, considering it is TellTale, it's whoever it is, it's the big return, right? It did, if I was putting this on like a ranking scale of like bad, underwhelming, okay, good, very good, this is in like the underwhelming category for me, especially with given like some of the things that they were saying beforehand. And you know what, like, to sort of like rewind a second, I am going to go back, I'm going to see how this branching plays out. But yeah, like it didn't hit, it didn't land for me.
Yeah, like if you had to review the game out of 10, mate, what would you score it?
Ooh, probably give it maybe like a 4.
Yeah,
or a 5. 5's probably maybe being a bit too nice. Probably a 4, and it's like I say, the middle 2 episodes are really what killed it or brought it down. But then, like you say, you've got the episode length. Characters didn't feel fully fleshed out. But there were some good things in there.
Yeah, I mean, when I was asked, kind of like during the stream at the end, a few of the people on the stream asked me what I thought. I said a 4, but I've had time to sit on it, and Felicie said 3, and I kind of agree with it. I'd give it a 3 out of 10, which by no means is like absolutely terrible, right? I'm a harsh ranker, like even my favorite games hit 8s and 9s. I save like ends for like a game in the future that's absolutely gonna mind blow me, knock me off my socks. So like I don't know, like 3, you might call it harsh, but I just have to come down on it with the fact that, you know, there were those 2 dead episodes where we got one choice. And to me, that's just so poor. There's the things that the characters just weren't fleshed out. I had no emotional attachment to them. There was a bunch of Expanse lore where I felt lost with. And, you know, like the balance, like you said, between exploration, collectibles, dialogue just felt a little off pace for me. And the other big one as well was that, you know, like you'd be exploring and then sometimes you would go to the next scene when you weren't ready and it wasn't always crystal clear, like when you would be done with a room, which I'm never really a fan with these games. So yeah, like I've probably, like, all in all, based off of our chats, I'm getting the impression here that I've probably taken more of a negative stance on this series. And I'm not gonna lie, it does give me certain anxieties going into the Wolf Among Us game, lad.
Whoa, and I think that's probably the discussion for another video, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I'm not gonna go, you know, too in detail with that. Tune in for other videos, guys, where, you know, we'll be discussing that. But yeah, anything else to add, lad, about, you know, the Expanse that we've not covered?
I don't think so. Obviously, first of all, thank you for all of the you know, the channel regulars and obviously the newbies that have joined. You know, since we've been covering this game, it's been great to see new names and whatnot in the streams and the comments, etc. It's not going to end here. We've still got a DLC episode to look at as well. When that will be, we don't know. But of course, we're going to have, you know, lots of bonus videos as well, episode rankings, character tier lists, all that stuff coming down the pipeline as well. So yeah, thanks for joining us again in this series.
And yeah, just thank you to everyone who joined in as well for my streams. You know, it was an absolute pleasure playing it live, and I wasn't a massive fan of the game, and I think it was more enjoyable with the fact that I got to play it with you guys. So thank you to all the numerous people out there like Fleecy, Joshua, S, Edith, Kate, Alex. You know, there's so many of you that, you know, I could name that joined in and helped him with the choices. I had an absolute blast playing it with you guys. And thank you everyone who's commenting on the analysis series and stuff. It's epic that TellTale's back. You know, it's a massive studio that Jack and I will be covering throughout the channel, that we've done so in the past and we will do in the future. So yeah, that is what we do on the channel, guys. It's about critical thinking. You know, not every game is going to be an absolute, you know, glorious one. You know, we have to be true with these kind of things. And by no means do I want to say that I think TellTale are awful. It's just, you know, sometimes you're going to have a rotten apple, you know, in the barrel, aren't you? And I feel like this is borderline that. But yeah, thank you very much for joining, guys. As Jack's mentioned, stick out. If you enjoyed our Expanse videos, there's going to be so many more coming around the corner with, you know, ideas that we've got going forward. And then yeah, you know, you'll have to stay tuned for our next analysis series. And yeah, as mentioned, guys, we'll be doing our next analysis series. We obviously put out that poll where, you know, we gave you guys the power to pick our next game. Jack, how did it go? Who won?
Well, we are staying with TellTale, and interesting, we are going to be going on to The Wolf Among Us, which is going to be very good considering we've got The Wolf Among Us 2 around the corner as well. So yeah, very excited to revisit that one. I've literally not played it since 2015. I can barely remember it, so it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I played it one more time, and yeah, no, it's going to be an absolute pleasure going back through that game because I have really fond memories of it. And yeah, for the analysis series, guys, that we're going to be doing, we will be joined by none other than my own brother. So yeah, I'm going to bring in my own family in this one. So yeah, it should be interesting to see, you know, my brother, he's a massive fan of The Wolf Among Us. He's got some interesting stories, thoughts and theories about it. So yeah, there'll be 3 of us doing that one. As always, guys, thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.
Catch you later.